Okay, so if you follow that process, please, Bex, and browse help articles, that's correct. Software, scroll down. Yeah, click on the 15, view all 15. And scroll right down to the bottom of that page. And then that's it, number 2. Then scroll down till you see day 1. There you go, day 1 guide, second from the bottom.
This one.
Next one up.
Okay.
That's it, day 1 guide. And then if you click on the My Apps, that's it. That's the SSO trying to log you into the My Apps. So there you can see, if you click on that. So that's already populated it with a domain name, okay, ndcs.org.uk. Sometimes you have to enter that manually. Right, so as you can see, that's your vault. And there's a basic process which we're going to run through in the training that will show you how to run this import of passwords from all your existing browsers that you have on your machine. So we won't do that on your live account. So if you could stop sharing your screen now, Bex, that would be great.
Perfect. So hi, everyone. As Rocco said, I'm Vitor. I'm support manager in Keeper in EMEA. And I want to start here on our website, just so you, you get to know who we are and our platforms. So basically, we are a password manager. Nowadays, we all have too many logins, too many passwords. And what happens is that usually the person has a lot of passwords, but all weak passwords because they're easier to remember. Or you have one password and you use the same for everything, which is also very common. So with the password manager, all you need to know is the password to open your account. And in there, you're going to store all your accounts, all your logins, your passwords. Make sure they're all different from each other. They're all complex. And this way you have strong credentials, complex credentials. Right, so when you go here on our website and you go to download, so actually the website is keepersecurity.com. Then when you go to download, you can see the different platforms that we have. So we have desktop application. You won't need to download because you're mainly going to be using the browser version. Keeper Fill, which is the browser extension. If you don't have the extension installed in your browser yet, click on this little puzzle icon here, just to double check and see if the extension is installed. What the new browser versions are doing now, they hide the extensions. So maybe it's installed, you just don't see it. When you click on this puzzle, look for the extension that you want, in this case, Keeper. I'll be using Calendly as an example. And then you can ping the extension. You see Calendly is gone, so click there and ping the extension that you want. If you don't see Keeper here, it's because it's not installed yet. And then you can come to our website, download, Keeper Fill, choose the browser that you're using, and then you just click here. That's going to install the extension. And this is what's going to autofill your login, so your email and password, when you visit a specific website. And we also have mobile apps, so we work also on iOS and Android. So to log into your account, there are 2 ways. Well, actually, 3 ways. You can either do the process that you saw Rocco doing. You go into Azure, My Apps, and you see Keeper there. When you click on Keeper, you're redirected to your account. You can also go here to our website, click on Login, Web Vault, and you're redirected to this page here, which is the login page. Okay, you don't have to worry about changing the data center. Keeper knows where your account's located. So as soon as you enter your email address, we are going to redirect you. So don't worry about this. So you can log in through here, or if you have the browser extension installed, just click there. Again, enter the email address and log into Keeper through the extension. It's the same. So I have my email here. So enter my email, click on Next. Keeper knows I'm using single sign-on, redirects me to Microsoft Azure. Select the account. And I'm logged into my account. You're also going to receive a notification when you either create the account or you log in the next time, which is about the vault transfer. So when you leave the company, you have some passwords in your account, you have some data saved in your business account. So when you leave the company, your admins, they have the power to transfer all the data from the business account to another user or to themselves. This is not something that they are going to do just to see what's in your account, because when they do that, your account's deleted. So they're only going to use when you actually leave the company. You receive this notification explaining what it is, what the vault transfer does. All you have to do is click on accept. And that's it. So I'm logged into my account. When you create the account, you'll be empty because it's new, so there are no passwords, there are no folders yet. And then from that moment, you can start importing existing passwords that are saved into your browser. Let me just change, okay. So this is another account, just so I can show more data, more folders, more records. Right, so let's say my account's empty, and from this moment, I can start importing existing passwords. If you click here on your email address at the top and go to settings, you can go to import. And then the first option, that's going to allow you to import everything that is saved to your browser. All you have to do is click on the import button, install. That's going to install this import tool. That's what we call it. Click on it. And then you have to copy this code. That's a unique code. Just click there to copy, paste in here, and import. So, right, this is the only password that I have saved in Chrome. It's for our support portal, actually. So you click on Add to Keeper. Now I can find it here. You see the title, it's a bit confusing. So you can click on this pencil. That's going to allow you to modify the record. So let's fix the title. Serves now. And perfect. Just save. And I have here, the title is correct, my login, my password, and the website address. You can also manually create a record. So if you click on this golden button, create new, go to record, and then we have different record types. The standard one is login. So that's where you save just a email address and the password. So let's go with Salesforce. I already have a login, and I have here a password. So as you can see, my password is, well, weak. We are going to pretend that this is my real password, okay? So at this moment, I can see my password is weak. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm already using this password. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save. Later, I'm gonna show you how to modify the password and make sure that you're using a strong one. If you're creating a new record here, and then later you're going to create an account in a specific website, you can use the dice, and that's going to give a strong password. At the bottom, we have the website address. Make sure you always have the website there, because this is the only way for the extension to know what website we're visiting and what login and password we should use in that specific website. When I go now to Salesforce, Keeper is going to read. So from here, salesforce.com, it's going to compare with everything that I have in my account, find a match. In this case, it's this record, and autofill my login and my strong password. At the bottom here, if you need to add an attachment, you need to add a document to the record, a picture, you can upload as well. You can also save a two-factor code. So the two-factor code are those 6 digits codes that you have to enter upon login. The most common way of getting them is by SMS, but you can also get from a Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, those codes that change every 30 seconds. Instead of using an external app, you can use Keeper. So you store that code inside Keeper as well. When you're using the browser version, you click here, and the only option you have is to upload the QR code. So when you click on upload, you find the QR code, which is somewhere here. And now I have the 2FA inside my record. When I go to Salesforce, I don't need to worry about getting my mobile, waiting for an SMS, or looking for the Google application and typing the code. No, Keeper is going to autofill for me. When you're using the desktop version of Keeper, let's go here again. When you're using the desktop version, you can scan. So you don't have to take a screenshot of the QR code and upload. You can use the scan. You have a new window popping up here that allows you to drag and scan the QR code without having to take a screenshot and uploading. If you need to add an extra field, maybe an extra website, you can also enter here 2 website addresses. If you need maybe PIN code, as an example, I have here the PIN code. And if it's a field that we don't have available here, you can create one yourself. You click on text, and you can edit the label. So maybe it's account number, just as an example, and save. So now I have all the data that I need for this specific record, this specific website. I have my PIN code, account number, my login, and even my 2FA. Any questions so far? No? Okay.
Can we just
And
mention, sorry, Rizal, can we just mention that how the two-factor code works, just so you're clear, it's a bit like getting an SMS on your phone. However, it's worthwhile noting that your laptop has to be in the right time zone and on the right date. So if there's any issues at all where you're working remotely and your time zone is different from the EU, then there could be a problem with that. Just, I don't know if you can explain that better, Vitor, about the time and date, how the 2FA works.
yeah, right. So that's bound to the device, to the clock that you have here on your machine. So let's say I'm based in the UK. So if I travel to work, let's say I'm going to Brazil, that's I think 3 hours behind, and I change the clock in my computer, my 2FA is not going to work. Actually, sorry, if I travel there to Brazil and I don't change the clock in my computer, my 2FA is not going to work. You need to change the clock. To do that, it's simple. You just go to search here, look for clock, sorry, change date and time. I'll drag this up here. And then mine is set automatically, so I don't have to do anything. But if yours isn't, then you can change the zone in here, region. Yeah. So here you can change the country. That's going to change also the clock. But basically, yeah, the 2FA is bound to your clock in your machine. The cool thing about this is that if you need to share the credential with someone, you don't have to wait for the person to text you and then you give the code to the person. No, you just share the record with another user. And now they have access to this record, they have access to the password and to the 2FA live. They can use it now. Right, and then we have folders. So we have two types of folders. Private, you can see the icon is a little bit different. Like finance is private, and folder 1, marketing, missing file, these are shared folders. The way to create is exactly the same. You just click there, and all you have to do is enter the name. You go to shared folder, same thing. You have some permissions here. I'm going to explain later what they are. So let's go with training today's 8. Yes. So don't worry about these at the moment. I'll show later how to work with them. Perfect. So I have a shared folder. I can go to users. There's no one here except myself. So no one has access to this folder at this moment. And it's empty, no data inside. To add a record to the folder, you can select multiple records holding Control. Then you just drag and drop them. Now I have the 3 records inside this folder. Or you can click on the folder, click on this little pencil here again, and now you're editing this specific folder. We have 3 tabs. So records, when you click on that record, you have a list of everything that is in your account, everything that you can potentially add to the record, sorry, to the folder. Here we have some permissions. So you see all permissions are view only, which means users have access to these records, but they cannot modify the record. They can just see the password and use the password. Then we have can edit, which means this record here, and in this case, specifically this one, the only one, it's editable. So everybody that has access to the folder, they will also have the power of opening the record, ADP, and changing login, changing password, website, whatever is in there, they will be able to change. Can share means that this record here, and again, only this one, is shareable. So whoever has access to the folder will be able to open the record and share with someone else. Both permissions together, or view only. And again, view only, it means that the user can access the record, can see the password, but they cannot modify or reshare. In users, at the moment, there's only myself. I haven't invited anyone. But when you click on email or team name, you have the list of everybody that works in your company. So you can invite someone else, another user, to join the folder, and of course, have access to all those records. Here you have the list of users. I only have 4, counting myself. So I can invite these users to join. And at the moment, you don't see any teams. So your company is still, they're not using teams. But teams, just for you to understand, in case you see a new team popping up, it's just a group of people. It makes it easier for you to share. So if you need to share something with everybody that works in marketing, as I have here, I don't have to look for the users that work in marketing, for the employees. I can just select the entire team. And now these 2 people that are inside marketing, they will have access to the folder. But this, again, it's something that you don't have at the moment, the teams, but you will in the future. For now, just invite the users. So in users, we also have permissions. Permissions are can manage users, which means that this user here, he will have the power of inviting someone to the folder or removing people from the folder. can manage records, as it says here at the bottom. This user will have the power of adding more records to the folder or removing something. Then we have both permissions together. So just like myself, full power over the folder, can invite people, delete people, manage records, and no permission, like this one here. So this user can see the folder, has access to the folder, but cannot modify the folder, can't invite people, cannot remove records or add something new. And the last option is the default settings. So these are the ones that were showing when I created the folder. Remember when I create the folder, you have the default permissions. That's the same one that you have here in settings. Default permissions means that every time that someone invite a user or add a record to the folder, it will follow by default the permission that you have selected here. Is this clear? Do you have any questions about sharing folders or sharing records?
Why would you create a shared folder? What would be the reason for that?
If you have any record, if you have any account that is shared internally, everybody's using the same portal, the same credential, then you can share with a group of people using a folder.
So are we sharing the password with other people? Is that what you're saying?
A password that you have to share. If it's something
Okay.
private, no. But if it is something that everybody uses in common, then yes.
Okay.
So for instance, if you're all accessing the same website, and you check the password gets changed by one person, they can then share that out to the rest of the team that have access to that website anyway, and so on.
But ideally, everyone should have their own kind of unique password. That's best practice. It's only when that you have to kind of share a password that you would use this.
100%, yes. However, some departments, like some chapters, like finance, they may have to access the same accounts and so on. So if any of those details are shared amongst other team members, it's a simple and very, very secure way of updating account details and passwords, because you're not obviously sending them externally through any kind of exchange server on email. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great. And then the other thing I'd like you to go through, Vitor, is the records permissions, in terms of how they override any other user or setting permissions. So if the document is set to view only, doesn't matter if the users or anybody in the settings or setup of the folder is given rights to, adjust the document, edit the document, it will be overridden by the document itself, please.
Yes, so you mean the permission here. Can manage records only means that the user can add and remove records. For someone to be able to modify the record, it needs to have the permission can edit. It means that the record is editable. Is this what you mean?
Yes. I think the way I'm trying to explain it is if you make a document or a record and you don't have edit ability, even if the users can manage, as you just said, they cannot edit the record, so it is secure until you adjust that. Because I think sometimes people may well share a record that says view only and expect, because they've set the user permission to can manage, to be able to edit it,
Correct.
which they won't be able to. That's what I'm trying to stress.
Yeah, correct. So when you go to users, you can see here the can manage records only means they can add and remove records. So they have the power of adding something or removing something. To modify the record itself needs to be editable. That's the only way. If you're trying to modify a record and you're getting the error, you cannot modify, but you have to. The only person that can actually change the permission are the admins in your company or the owner of the record. When you open the record, let me use another one. A record that I know that is not mine. This one. So You see it's inside a marketing folder. So when I open a record and I click on this little eye here for information, you can see the owner. So it's not me, it's Jake. So now all I have to do is contact Jake and ask him to log in and fix the permission so I can modify his record. Any other questions about folders?
Everything okay, ladies? Are we making sense so far?
Yeah,
Right.
all good.
Great, thank you.
Just one note about why would you share a password. An example that we have here in support, we have access to a finance portal where we can see payments and do refunds and those things, but we don't have a login for each one of us. We only have one login that we share among everybody in support, and that's an example of why you would be sharing a credential. So we have, let's say ADP, and it's shared among everybody in support, the support team. We all have access to the same password. When someone is notified that the password is expired, they update in Keeper, and that's it. It's updated for everybody. So let's move here to identity and payment. Here you can just save your personal information. So very straightforward. You can save your name, your address, phone number, and then in payment cards, you can save a debit, a credit card. When you need to use it, you can let Keeper autofill that information.
Can I just add something in there, Vito? Sorry. As a business vault, so it's a commercial vault, you are only supposed to be saving any commercial, any NDCS accounts or payment cards or anything like that in there, because if you were to leave, you need to have access to them, and you won't. So you'll also, so if you use your personal vault to save any personal documentation in, and the two are completely separate. So in this area of identity and payments, again, referring to finance, they may well have payment cards that they use or different bank accounts or different things. They would use this. If you don't have access to that sort of thing, please don't save any personal details in there. Use your free personal vault that you'll get with this account. That, as I said, is autonomous to NDCS. They have no access to it. And can't administrate it. It's completely secure for you guys to use with zero knowledge to anybody else.
Right, and then we have secret audit. So here you can see how strong is your account based, of course, on the passwords. Mine is 6%, which is fair, but it's a demo account. And you can see the weak passwords, strong passwords, and if you have any medium, I only have one for Zoom. You can filter here the reused. So I have, for these two records, I'm using the same password. And even if you have strong passwords appearing here, make sure that you change them. Even if it's strong, do not use the same password for everything. Or you can filter just the weak passwords, and these are the ones that you should change. But let's use another example here. Okay, I'll create a new one. So maybe I want to save the PIN code for the door or for the alarm, the office door. I'm not going to save as a password because it says if I save as a password, it's just 4 numbers. Of course, Keeper is going to say it's a weak password. And then when I go to Secret Audit, I have the office door showing here. But this is not a password, it's a PIN code. So what I'm going to do, I find the record here, office door, modify, remove the password, and use a custom field, PIN code. So when I go back to Secret Audit, the door is not here anymore. So only saving password fields, whatever it's a password. If it's not password, it's a PIN for your credit card, PIN for the door, for the alarm, use a custom field. Breachwatch. So we have a database of weak passwords, passwords that have been hacked in the past, passwords that we found in the deep web. Everything is encrypted, but Breachwatch is constantly comparing all of those passwords, all the data in that data center, with your accounts and your passwords. If we find a match, we give an alert. It doesn't mean that it has been hacked. It means that the password that you're using for these specific websites are the same as the passwords that we have in this database of hacked passwords, passwords found in the deep web or dark web. When you open a record, you can see the password, and then you can resolve. To resolve, you just have to change the password, basically. Any questions about Breachwatch?
If I could just add as well, admin will be notified of any alerts that come through. So if you get any emails and it's a password that you can't change because it's set for whatever site you're going into, then please let them know. However, it is well advised to try and update it and change it because as we've just seen, it's not being hacked on your account, but the password is out there, and the malware community or whatever are aware of the fact that that password's out there. So it's better, in case anybody's doing a mass attack, to change it so it's more secure. And that's what the advice will keep coming back at you each time you try and log in, if you ignore that.
Will Beekeeper prompt us to change a password say after 6 months or a year if we've already used that password, any password, or do we have to kind of go in and update it or change it ourselves?
Yeah,
We don't prompt you to change. You have to change yourself, but it's really simple. That's what I'm going to show next.
Yeah, because it's advised that you take the alert seriously. If you can change the password, it is advised to do so, because it obviously it's like locking your front door and leaving the key under the mat if you don't, because somebody somewhere on a mass attack can find that password for any account because it's already out there in the systems that hackers use, you see.
But what about the ones that we've already saved that are okay? They're not Breachwatch, they're just the standard kind of strong passwords. How often should we be changing those, or does it not matter?
Well, the company policy is every 90 days, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, but this will, if you've got the main thing, I think 80% of breaches or hacks that take place in organizations are caused by people using the same password on multiple accounts, because once they get into one, they get into everything. So that's like leaving your doors open as well as your front door, so your windows open as well as your front door. And then the other issue is, passwords that are out there in the dark web that have been used to hack somebody else's account. And when they do these mass attacks, they use previous passwords. So it's definitely, if you get anything that gets an alert on it, it's very well advised to change it. As I said, the only case where you wouldn't be able to change it if it's a financial account that password is set in stone and you can't. But otherwise, and then just let admin know, because the help desk will be getting notifications about this every day. Just let them know so they can stop probably chasing you on it.
Okay, great.
All right. And then we have the deleted items. If you delete something by mistake, you can always restore. But if you delete something that belongs to another user, only that user can restore. As an example, before you delete something, as I showed before, let's say you want to delete something from a shared folder. Open a record and quickly check who is the owner. If I delete this right now, this record, I won't be able to go to the trash and restore. Only that user, Jake, will find the record in his trash. Now, changing passwords. So we have here at the top the search field. So if you want to look for something, you can just type the name of the record, and I can see here Amazon. this. Okay, so I can see here my Amazon record. So this is my password for Amazon. It's a real Amazon account, so this is a real password, but it's a test environment anyway. When using the browser extension, you can also search for specific records. So you can see here my Amazon account. And then you can either go directly to Amazon and let Keeper autofill the login and password. If you have Keeper open, you can click on the launch button from here or from here. That sends you to the website. Sign in, Keeper enters my email and password, and I'm logged into my account. If you want to change the password, so again, this is the password that I have. Let's pretend it's a weak password. I'll go here to my account and password. So Keeper usually identifies that you're trying to change password and it's going to give you a pop-up here. Would you like assistance updating your password? If you don't receive the pop-up, like I didn't, maybe it's something in my settings, you can click on the Keeper icon. So in every password field, you see this little icon here, that's Keeper. So you click there, 3 dots, change password. So as I said before, usually you get this pop-up here automatically, and then you just click on yes. But again, if you don't receive automatically here, Keeper icon, the 3 dots here, change password. So would you like assistance? Yes. It gives you your current password. All you have to do is click on the Keeper icon to autofill, and it gives you a new and strong password. You can modify the password. I'll go with this one here. Autofill, one more time. Saving Keeper, saving Amazon. When I go back to my account, I have the new password here. If anything goes wrong, if you get disconnected, if you change something in Keeper by mistake, now you're unable to log in, you can click on the eye here for more information, go to activity, and restore the old version of the record. So you can go back to the old password. Anything that you modify here, doesn't matter what it is, title, login, password, if there was an attachment and someone deleted, it's always in the history. So you can always go back to an older version. And there's no limit. So I can go back here to the very first password that I had. I changed, well, 65 times. Can go back to any version. So continuing about the browser extension, as I said, you can search for the record. If you have multiple records with the same name, Salesforce, I have a lot of Salesforce accounts, you can see the login, so you know which one you'd be accessing. Try ServiceNow maybe. All the same email. When you go to settings, security, we have 2 features here. So the logout timer and stay logged in, and they work together. So the logout timer, we all know how it works. After a few minutes of an activity, you are automatically logged out. The stay logged in allows you to close the browser, even turn off the computer, and then when you open the browser again, you are already connected. But as I said, they work together. So to make it easier to understand, let's say 60 minutes. If I close my browser and open again within 60 minutes, so within 1 hour, I'm already connected to Keeper. I don't have to log in all over again. If I close the browser and open again only after the 60 minutes, then the logout timer kicks in, log me out of my account, and I have to do the login process again. Is this clear?
Yeah.
I think NDCS are recommending 180 minutes to set that to. It's entirely up to you, but if you've got it too soon, you're going to be continually logging in and out, i.e. 5 minutes. If you've got it at 4,000 minutes, as we just saw there, then that's a bit of a security risk because you could be away from your machine and somebody could get access to it. So 180 minutes is what we're advising you to set that out.
Right, so you have an enforcement, which is 180, which means if you try to put any number here that it's above 180, you're going to get an error message, so it's not going to save. But if you try something lower than 180 minutes, then you can save. The enforcement that your admins are putting is just establishing the maximum amount of minutes that your account can be active. Okay, so if they say it's 180, you can't go above 180, but you can go lower than 180, basically. Theme, just change the color. Then we have some settings here that you can personalize. So let's say you don't want to see, you don't want Keeper to autofill your login and password. Then you can turn off the autofill. Maybe you don't want Keeper to click on the login button. So we're not going to just enter your email and password. We also find the login button and click on it for you. You don't have to do anything. If you want to turn that off, then you go to Auto Submit. Yep, this one here, and turn off. And it's written there what it does. So when you open specific prompt to fill, it says what it does for each feature. Any questions about the extension?
No.
Perfect. So let's go here to settings. In general, again, you can change the color of your account, you can change the language. In security, logout timer and say logged in, those are managed by the extension, like I showed. Enable self-destruct, it's not going to destroy anything actually. After 5 failed login attempts, Keeper is deleted from the local machine. So the cache is erased from this browser, from the machine, but your account is still there. So your account's not deleted. Import, like I showed in the beginning, you can import everything that is saved to the browser or another password manager. And then when you go here to account, you're all going to receive this message here in blue. This is inviting you to create, if you want, a free family account. The free family account gives you 5 accounts actually that you can share. You can invite friends, family, 1 for yourself, and 4 that you can invite people to join. All the 5 accounts, they are together in the same subscription, but they're completely separated and private one from the other. So you cannot access your friend's account. Your friend cannot see your account. They're just free because they are in the same subscription, but they are private. What happens when you leave the company? Your business account is deleted and your free family account will become a free trial. So nothing is deleted from the family account. No one has access to the family account. Your company, they cannot manage the family account, delete, see what's inside, nothing. It's just yours. When you leave the company and your manager deletes the business keeper account, the family accounts become trial, becomes a test account. For the first 30 days, so 1 month, nothing really changes. You still can access the account from everywhere. But after 1 month, you can only access the account from one specific device. You cannot have your account opening many devices at the same time. And then it's up to you. If you want to delete the account, let us know. We give you the link so you can delete. If you want to continue with purchasing a personal subscription, also let us know and we help with that. But don't worry about your data because it's not going to be deleted. Any questions about the personal accounts or the business also?
No.
All right. Roku, do you guys have an internal help desk that your team should be contacting before contacting us directly?
Yes, absolutely. The admins, the agents, the IT agents on the IT service desk, help desk, are the first point of contact, and we would then deal with it if we needed to speak to Keeper in the IT team to sort any other areas out. But the service desk will put you in a ticket, or you'll put a ticket into the service desk, sorry, and they would then escalate that to a Keeper admin like myself or whoever else in the team is going to be dealing with that, and we will get back to you straight away, obviously, because normally when you have an issue, it's rather urgent and you're trying to get into the vault to access something. So we are aware of that, and all the tickets are set up to be dealt with as a priority. The other thing is the self-help portal, as we just showed at the beginning of this demonstration, this training session. There's lots of other documents on there for all the things that we've covered today that you can go through at your leisure. And also there will be recordings similar to this put on to the self-service portal for you to download and again watch in your own time at your leisure when you get a particular area that you want to investigate further. There are other things that the solution offers, which we'll go into at a later stage when you've all got used to using the initial steps of the product.
Perfect. Thank for your attention, and just one recommendation: start using Keeper, import your passwords. It's actually really helpful. And then once everything is imported, quickly go here to the security audit, see whatever it's weak, but most importantly, go to Breachwatch, see whatever is at risk, and then change those passwords. And yeah, if you need any help, you can contact our internal IT, and they will then escalate to us.
Yeah, sorry, go on. And just to finish off with that, one of the key areas with using this type of tool is the productivity gains. I don't know about yourselves, but I spend a lot of my day scratching my head trying to remember passwords that I need to log into certain sites or certain things. This will do it all for you. So once you've logged into Keeper in the morning first thing, this does all the rest of the work for you during your day, and it will obviously take away all that headache and also the worries about any kind of security issues with the passwords, because it's highly secure. So if somebody was to get onto your device, your laptop or your PC, either through the online connections or directly onto it physically, they can't get onto Keeper. So that's one of the benefits of using this over a browser password manager, because obviously if they get onto your machine, whatever way, they can access all your private personal passwords or commercial passwords within the browser and everything else on your machine once they're on there, and put malware on it that allows them to contact other people within the group. So if all your security, all your secrets, all your records are in the Keeper password tool, that's highly unlikely, if at all possible, to happen, because they're the specialists at securing this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Do you think this has helped, ladies, to get you going with this tool? Do you feel more comfortable and more confident now?
Yeah, I mean, I've already started, as I said, Rock, I've already started to create some passwords. So I will go
Brilliant.
through and kind of add more to those and use the folder thing as well with that. Because I've got some passwords that are kind of like internal for kind of just like the well-being and the rewards, which is not I don't think that's a specific website, but I'll just keep that as a note in here. So yeah, I'll definitely kind of transfer what I have into this. It seems to be quite straight. It seems to be straightforward to use, so I'm happy to kind of take it on board.
Yes, it is very intuitive. It's just the initial getting your head around and setting it up, in terms of how you start building your folder structures, etc. The other thing I wanted to mention is about device acceptance. You'll occasionally get that request. And what it is, it's not necessarily your device. Obviously, if you change device, then yes, it will be your device. But 90% of the time, it's when you use a different browser. So for instance, if you're using Edge now, when you start using Chrome, it will send a device acceptance request through, of which admin needs to accept. Or once you've done it the first time, which both of you probably will have done by the end of today, i.e. set up your devices or your browsers that you're currently using, you can get a notification to an existing device for that additional browser to be accepted yourselves. You choose. It's called a push or an admin advice. Okay, so when you see those coming up, it's purely because you're using a different browser to log into Keeper with. If you use the same browser, you won't get those. But if you change device, you will, and you'll have to use the previous device to accept if you want to do it yourself. Otherwise, it goes through to admin, and we'll clear it as soon as we see it.
The one thing that I didn't get when I created my account was this pop-up that said to agree to the transfer acceptance request.
Yes,
Is that, should I have got that?
you should have got that. Yes, I'm not certain
I
why you
didn't.
haven't. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll check in the admin portal
Okay.
that make sure that's sent through to you, and just so you know that gives us no access to your account. That is zero. The whole of Keeper is based on zero knowledge. Even Keeper can't see anything that you have in your vaults. So it just allows us to secure the data that is pertinent to the company. If you were to move department or leave, or we were to stop using Keeper in the future, we can then save that information and pass it on to whoever else that it belongs to or is taking over the role or anything like that. So it's not that we can see what you've got in there. We won't be able to see anything. It's just a matter that we can store it and then send it on to whoever it's relevant to in the future.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. I'll stop the recording.